Okay, so there's so much juicy royal family drama in The Crown. But here's the thing, how much of it is fact and how much of it is fiction? According to royal correspondent and biographer Omid Scobie, the royal family turned down an offer to fact check the TV series. Cue my daughter here. Duh. Of course they did. Should they have done it, ladies? Do you think they're beating themselves up now?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to jump right in here, and I haven't watched the whole Crown, but I will say that you never turn down an opportunity to fact check because there's just too much misinformation out there, and it can guide. I know this is fiction. The show is supposed to be, at least, and the fact is that they might have put a disclaimer up. But when a disclaimer is up, I can guarantee you disclaimers are all over the place, and the average person's not going to look at that. And so I think when you're putting something out there, it's got to be accurate. You go through something what we call a four eyes. When I write something, someone else looks at it, they will fact check it. I think they made a big mistake in not jumping on board to say, we want to have a hand in this. I know they don't like it. I know they don't want it. But the fact is, if it's going to be out there anyway, you might as
Oh
well
my
have
gosh,
your say.
don't you know who the queen is? It is deny everything, confirm nothing, right? Like she is the one, she
Fair.
actually created
Fair,
this
but
environment. The reason why there is such a voracious appetite for all the scandal is because the royal family is notoriously and to the book private about their personal life. It is not the queen's way.
and that's wrong.
Well,
And
it's the
that's wrong.
queen's way. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is the queen's edict. This is the way. They do not, their whole mandate is do not engage with the press. It took the
I know.
BBC 22 years to try to score a sit down with Her Majesty, and they finally got it. And then it turns out that the interviewer couldn't even ask any questions. They were like, this is going to be a conversation. Well, it wasn't a conversation. It was just the queen talking. They weren't even allowed to actually press. So, of course, this is not a family we know that is going to be open about this because that would require them setting the book straight about scandal in the family. I'm a nobody, and I don't want anybody in my business about scandal in my family, let alone a family that's so private. Here's the only thing I will say. There have been real world consequences to the show. So you guys saw this probably on Twitter and all the episodes showing Charles and Camilla and Diana and the firm's treatment of Diana. And people all of a sudden were all on Team Harry and Meghan that were never on Team Harry and Meghan before. Why? Because they were like, oh, that girl dodged a bullet. They were right to get out of that family and get all the way out to California, get as far away from them as you possibly can. The people believed so much on the show that what was happening was true that it actually turned into Meghan, good for you. So the last point I'll add about this is Prince Charles. It doesn't put him in a great light. He's the next heir to the throne. So I don't know what this is going to do for anybody who's he's trying to sway to get onto Team Charles.
Yeah, Mel, I mean, I definitely agree with you that the royal family way is never to engage with the press, but that is by the books. Like they won't do a sit down interview with the BBC and answer those questions, but they will have their courtiers and palace insiders leaking things to the public that is favorable, especially when they're trying to advance a certain specific narrative, which is what we've seen happen to Meghan Markle. So they do cherry pick how they engage with the media. They just don't want to admit to it. And that is the problem here. Listen, people have been watching The Crown for 5 seasons now. The 5th season is currently available, but there were 4 seasons before. And the royal family did not get as pressed about season 1, 2, 3, 4 as they did about season 5. So all this talk about introducing a disclaimer, where were you in 2017, 18, 19? You're only doing it now. Why? Yes, because Prince Charles is the heir to the throne, and this season makes him look terrible. But a lot of people are spending so much time talking about Diana, they're actually missing what I think is the most critical episode of the season, which is episode 8. And it's the episode about apartheid and the Queen's clash with Margaret Thatcher. In short, Thatcher was not supportive of sanctions against South Africa. The Queen was. She thought it was deplorable what was happening to Black South Africans. So she tried diplomatically to influence that. That is anti-constitutional, according to people who believe that the crown and the state should be separate. They have always said up and down and all around that the queen does not involve herself in politics, but she did. On that occasion, she did, and she did it for a human rights reason, not a political reason, although political maneuvers had to be put in place. The reason why that has real world ramifications now is because the Queen, for example, was heavily criticized this year, along with the royal family, for not supporting Black Lives Matter. Their excuse was, we don't involve ourselves in politics. Well, it's a human rights issue. It's not a political issue. So when the Queen, out of one side of her mouth, says, I don't do politics, and on the other side of her mouth in the 80s was really involved with the South African issue, you got to ask yourself, hey, Queen, what are you, constitutional or not? Are you for human rights or not? And that is the conversation we should be having, and that they don't really want us to remember.
It's interesting hearing you say, Lainey, how the Queen, how they don't get involved in politics. Here's my question. What do they get involved in? It's what I want to know.
Tea parties.
What is
garden
the use
parties,
of the monarchy
horse
here?
parties,
Philanthropy.
I just started watching The Crown strictly because it's my job to. It's my job to be in the know, what everyone is talking about, the buzzes. Because I will be completely honest, and I know Lainey and Mel, I'm so glad we're not in the studio right now. Nothing but love, but I can't stand the royals. Like, I literally cannot stand the royals. The only two people I've ever cared about is Princess Diana and now Meghan Markle, like you mentioned, mainly for their philanthropic work and these beautiful women, these fashionable women giving back to the world in the most beautiful way. Amazing. But here's the thing. It's so funny hearing you guys all talk about it, how they're very careful on the information they like to leak. Because here's the thing, you know, going into watching the show for the first time, I know it's not 100% factual, but I'm actually going in with the eyes that perhaps this is what their entire family drama has been like. And of course, they don't want to put a approval seal on this.
It's a TV show.
Because
it's a
they
TV
know
show,
that
you
if
guys.
they approve it, then the whole world will actually know for a fact that they are very dysfunctional. And if they had to go through the facts, I can guarantee you they'd be like, yep, that's what happened. Oh, right, that's what happened. That's also what happened. Like,
no more accents.
Scandal is real.
No.
Listen, I'm just not watching it because I know how it ends. I know where we are in history right now. I've been watching it in real life, but we still have to remember that it's going out there to the masses, and some people will actually take this as verbatim. And so I think we have to think about it. It's a TV show. It's just a TV show.
A juicy one at that.